welcome to another episode of Jen's Musings. As always, I'm your host, Jen. This episode is going to be about petty toxic coworkers um, and the things that they do at jobs. First, a little update. I am sorry about the long gap between posts. I was not feeling well. Um, my health conditions were acting up. Also, my job was very hectic and taking a lot out of me, and so I was having a little struggle, and I didn't get some content made. Now that that's out of the way, this episode starts with a job from the past that I had with a petty coworker who was always concerned about me, what I was doing, and she thought she was my boss. However, she was on the same level as me and had actually not worked there as long as me, and she would tell me things to do, and when I wouldn't do them because she wasn't my boss, she would go running to my boss to tell my boss that I didn't do what she told me to do and I wasn't listening. And the one day I saw, my boss made me laugh because she said, you're not an assistant manager or anything. Why would she need to listen to you when you tell her what to do? You guys are on the same level. Like, you don't need to tell her anything to do. You worry about your job, let her worry about hers, and let me worry about telling people things that they need to do. And she didn't really stop doing it. And one time she interrupted, it was in a call center, and she interrupted me in the middle of a call with a customer where I didn't have the mic muted to yell at me about not doing something that me and her didn't even talk about me doing it. And again, she's not my boss in the first place. So I muted the mic so my customer wouldn't hear me talking to her. And I told her to never ever come yelling at me in the middle of a phone call again. And that if she had to talk to me, she needed to wait until my call was muted or I was finished. Like, don't ever come when my mic is open and the customer can hear you and do that. So she then got shocked that I would tell her something like that. Like, she thought she was really in charge of me and that I couldn't tell her anything. And because I was so quiet and I didn't really say anything back to her when she talked, she thought I was just, I don't know, scared of her or something. Like, I was just going to do what she said. And when I did that, she was completely shocked. And she went running off to my boss, and meanwhile I'm finishing my call, and I finish my call, and then I go to my boss's office. I paused my phone, went to my boss's office, and I told her what the girl did and how it was open mic in the middle of my phone call and my customer heard her. My boss let my coworker have it because she's not supposed to do that. And the girl was in absolute shock that she was getting yelled at for telling me something in the middle of a phone call, because she really thought she could do whatever she wanted to do. Like, she thought she was a boss for whatever reason. And eventually, at the end of everything, she ended up getting fired because it wasn't just me. She did that to several other people on calls too, and the one customer complained to management about this other worker in the background of their phone call, yelling at the person that they were talking to, interrupting them while they were trying to tell the person, what their problem was with their internet. And because I worked in the internet help desk, and she's trying to describe her problem, and my coworker just interrupted in the middle of the call, and it threw her off. And then my coworker couldn't hear her, and that who was taking the call couldn't hear her, and all of this stuff. So the lady was angry, and she complained to the manager, and the manager reamed this girl a new one. And again, she ended up getting fired because she would not stop doing things like this and running to the manager, telling her people weren't listening to her when they didn't have to in the whole first place. And the final straw was that she told an assistant manager what to do and then complained when they didn't listen to her. And then the assistant manager said, when would an assistant manager need to listen to a call center agent? Like, I'm your boss. Why would I need to listen to you? And then the girl went running to the manager to complain that the assistant manager didn't do what she said. And the manager was like, why are you telling an assistant manager what to do anyway? You're not a manager. You know what? You don't need to work here because you can't understand how the hierarchy of this place works. You don't understand that you are an entry-level worker and everybody else is an entry-level worker that's answering phones, and assistant managers are above you, and then the manager is above the assistant manager, and you're not understanding that, and you're actively disrupting people's phone calls to go tell them what to do, and nobody here has to listen to you, and you don't get it, and you're disrupting my call center. And she got fired. So that just it wasn't something that needed to be happening in the workplace. And then I had another coworker at Kmart, and she was kind of a similar way. She thought she was supposed to be running stuff, and she didn't want to listen, and she thought she was supposed to be telling everybody what to do, and they didn't get to tell her anything to do. But it was her second day, and I was supposed to be training her on the register, and she wouldn't listen. And eventually, because she was so worried about me, and she was so not listening and trying to tell me what to do, that they moved her to go get trained with the assistant manager, and she was telling the assistant manager what to do, and if she wasn't doing that, she was constantly telling the assistant manager I was over there trying to eavesdrop in her conversations. I was, like, trying to throw off her count or do whatever. It was always, I was so concerned about what she was doing and whatever, and she was 16 and I was 20, and I was, like, over there, and I had to put some things back on the rack that was right next to her register, and she, again, why is she over here trying to ear hustle in my conversation? She's throwing me off. She needs to get away from me, and she go do her job, or whatever. And then the assistant manager just told her, like, she's putting that stuff away, and it goes right there. That's where that stuff goes. She ain't over here because she's trying to listen to you. She's over here because that's where that stuff goes. And it was on her register, and it doesn't belong there, and she's putting it back where it belongs. What do you mean? And then she said something to me about staying away from her and quit worrying about everything she's doing all the time. I said, look, girl, ain't nobody worried about you. Nobody's worried about you. I'm over here doing my job, putting this stuff where it goes. The other little while ago, I had to clean up all them candy bars that the little toddler threw on the floor because he was having a tantrum because he couldn't have none. And everything I've done in this entire shift has not been about you. It's about me doing my job. I'm supposed to do my job. Nobody cares about you. You're a 16-year-old girl in her first or second job in high school, and it's your second day, and I've been here for like 6-7 months. I'm not worried about you. 6 months. I was there for 6 months. Like, I've been working here for 6 months. I ain't worried about you, and I'm 20 years old. I'm grown. I don't have time for it. This is not high school. I am not worried about you. You're not the queen bee here like you are at whatever high school it is that you go to. This ain't that. And I don't care. I'm not worried about you. I'm trying to do my job and make my money. I don't have an iota of concern for you. I'm over here doing what I gotta do. And it was so stupid. But then she ended up getting fired because she would not listen to nobody and was sitting up there telling a whole manager what to do. And was steady worrying about me so bad she was making all these mistakes. So yeah, no, she got fired. But the worst one is my current job. This coworker is very petty. She doesn't do half the stuff she's supposed to do. When they hire an outside manager, like a outside supervisor for the front desk, she gets mad like she's supposed to be getting that job and she's not qualified for it whatsoever. And she's like 24, 25 years old. Meanwhile, I turn 49 next month. And was literally already grown when she was growing in her mom's belly. So, like, I don't need her telling me what to do, and she does it, though. She'll tell me, like, was telling her my report, and the lady's trunk was open, and I sent the security guard out there, and I'm telling her while he was out there, he closed the trunk, and then I told the lady over this texting thing we have that we can text messages to their phone through our automated little system that we got on the phones that, like, tells them about the reservation and all that stuff. And then we can text them things about the reservation as well through the system. And I texted her through the system, and the girl got snotty with me. Like, this is why we should call people too, because if her trunk was open, she needed to come close it. I got angry and I said, I just told you that the security guard closed the trunk for her while he was checking on it. And she was like, well, I didn't hear that part. And I just got mad and started walking away and said, if you would have been paying attention to me while I was talking, you would have heard the part. And you could lose all that attitude because I don't need you telling me what to do. I'm older than you and I've been working here way longer than you. And so, and I don't know and don't care if she heard me, but, like, I needed to say it. It needed to get off my chest. So that's where the petty coworker came from, the most recent one. And sorry, my ear is clogged. Something's wrong with it. That's another thing that's kept me off from posting, is because I'm having trouble hearing because my ear clogs up. But anyway, I that's the problem with this coworker, is she like doesn't listen when we're giving her our reports, and then she has an attitude about something we said because she didn't hear all of it, when we really said that we did the thing that she's telling us that we need to do. We said we did it, but she didn't hear it because she wasn't paying attention. And I'm sure that if you've gone through this too, and you've had coworkers like this too, that it gets really frustrating, and it's just really petty, and like it makes the workplace very toxic when it's like this. And when the managers take their word for it, that makes it even worse. Now they're messing with your job, and it's not acceptable. So I just don't. It's not a good look when you do that at work to your coworkers. And like if she does things like text pictures of things we didn't do to the boss, and then we get in trouble for it, like that's very petty, and it's very not necessary. You don't have to do all of that. And now I just wanted to shoot out this episode real quick about this kind of coworker, the petty, toxic, coworkers that they like think they're your boss, and they think they should be above everybody, and they think they should get all the promotions and everything, and they do their job just so great, and they don't, and they're not, and like they're not even qualified for this promotion that they think that they should get, this kind of thing. Dealing with them is just, mind your own knitting. Do your job the best you can, and if they do like excuse me, report you to your boss, just explain what happened and make sure your boss knows your side of the story, and then just kind of just keep it low key and do what you do. If you have to, do set that coworker straight about how they're acting. But if you have to do that, please, remain professional and keep your job. But like, I know we get to that point where we don't care and we're gonna walk out, but like, if you don't need to do that, then don't do that. So that is the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye.